Hey everybody, it's Angela and I am back with another design team project for Scrapbooking with me. And I have these Bow Bunny stamps. They're the Bow Bunny Essential Stamps Butterfly Kisses, and also the Sizzix die cut butterflies. And this beautiful paper that I'm using in the background is a 12 by 12 Sense of Nature by 49 and Market. And it's one of my favorites in the collection, so I totally wanted to highlight it. And since I have the butterfly stamps and the butterfly dies, I wanted to do almost like a cut file, but I don't have any kind of silhouette or anything like that. So I decided to just kind of make my own butterfly wings and cut them out myself. And I'm looking over at the Sizzix die cut to kind of give me an idea of the shape, and using some scratch paper here to just draw on the one set of wings for the right hand side, and just kind of getting the size that I want to fill up my page. I wanted something kind of large, and something that would kind of come out from the right hand side of my photo. And that's a photo of my mother that I wanted to do, and she loves violets and pansies and the kind of purple colors and stuff, so this paper just makes me think of her. And so I wanted to use a picture of her that was from back in the 80s, and it's a picture that my brother took and developed himself. He used to have a dark room and everything, and so I really love the picture and the way the light hits it, so I totally wanted to scrapbook it. And so I'm taking the two patterns that I made and I'm just tracing them onto another piece of this 49 and Market paper. And what I want is kind of the dark outline that's on the back of this sheet that I'm cutting out now. And then I wanted to have kind of a lighter interior color, and you'll see how I make that here in just a second. So I get the two pieces cut out, and I'm liking that. I'm liking the scale of it coming out from the photo. And I'm kind of looking at the die cuts there to see how I want to trim out the interior of this to make it look more like a butterfly wing. So I decided to just kind of freehand it here, and I take my X-Acto knife and I just start cutting in some shapes, kind of mimicking a little bit that Sizzix die cut, but that was pretty intricate, and since I have to do this by hand, I kind of cheated and didn't make it quite so intricate. So I'm just kind of going here and, leaving some edges and kind of pulling out some shapes to kind of give it that butterfly wing look. But this paper is pretty thick. It's a really nice quality paper. So it was a little hard to do with my X-Acto knife. So where I could cheat, I was definitely going to cheat. And so what I do is I go into my punches and I pull out these circle punches here for these last final shapes. And that's kind of what I'm going for. And I do again on the bottom the same thing. And then I mount it on this other pink paper, and I'm just kind of trimming out. And it really gives the look of a cut file, without having a silhouette or anything like that. It kind of gave me that same look. And it gave a big statement piece to this layout. I wanted some kind of wow factor to it, and these wings really, bring that to the layout. So I'm just mounting my photo on some of the same dark kind of bluey purple that I used for the wings. And I'm really liking that. It's really pretty. Makes a big statement, and yet you can still see a lot of the florals that are already pre-printed on that paper. And here I'm taking the dies out, and I look through my stash. I have a couple other butterfly dies. These are hot off the press ones, and I think I use not the outline, even though I do cut it, I use just the interior of these two butterflies and that small one. And that just gives me a bunch of different shapes and sizes. And then I love this Bow Bunny stamp because it has all the large butterflies on it, but it has some really tiny ones on there too. And I'm going to stamp those around in my background and include those along with these die cut butterflies. So I'm just kind of laying things out, getting an idea of how I want to position the embellishments on this page. And I'm going to kind of loosely cascade them from the upper left-hand corner of my photo there, kind of down to that bottom right cluster that's pre-printed on the paper. I'm just kind of going with what, kind of looks good to me. And here's where I'm going to pull out the stamps, and I'm going to go with the two smallest ones on here. And I love that they have these little tiny guys. And I just pull out some of my inks. I find kind of a light purple one. And I'm just going to scatter these almost like splatters or enamel dots or whatever. Just kind of, tucking them in and hiding them amongst the clusters that are pre-printed on the paper. So I do that one, and then I pull out one that's even smaller. I'm just using the same, and it's just another little touch to bring that whole butterfly motif through the layout. So I'm really liking that. And it just brings another texture and, more detail to that background. So now I am going to kind of ground this whole thing with a doily. This is a doily that I got from Becky Bidding. Thank you, Becky. And I'm just putting that in the background, and then also taking a piece of foam, and I'm just going to pop up my photograph. I'm going to use a lot of hot glue for some of these other things that I adhere to the page, like these wings. I'm just going to put a little bit right there, and it kind of helps lift the wings up a little bit, and the wings are just kind of going to be free floating there. And then again, I'm kind of seeing how I want to position my butterflies. And then I also want to use a bunch of flowers. And I got the 49 and Market, these kind of off-white flowers. And I got them because I knew I could spray them whatever color I wanted. And I used 3 different colors of mist on those, and they're just some Tattered Angels mist from my stash, the purple pansy, the mountain mist, and a silver mist as well. And I just kind of changed those to purple. And I love to get a white flower when I'm ordering flowers. I always get like my favorite color, and then I also get some white ones so that I know I can change it up to whatever color I want. And then I had a bunch of die cuts from the 6x6 pads left over from when I did the mini album with this collection. So you can see in the upper right hand corner I have a whole bunch of these little die cut pieces left over and that I've taken out of the scraps that I had left. So I'm just tucking some vines and some more floral die cuts along with these 49 and Market paper flowers. And the 49 and Market flowers have a little bit of that micro glitter on there. And even though I sprayed them with mist, the micro glitter still shows up just fine. So here I am just tucking the glittered flowers and my die cut flowers together here and making some clusters. Kind of putting one of the bigger flowers to ground that bottom right hand corner of my photo. And then another cluster here on the left hand side. I want some butterflies kind of flying up off the page, and I also want some kind of pointing back down and directing your eye back to the photograph. So I do, kind of change up the positions of my butterflies. And I want some to kind of overlap my large wings there and to kind of incorporate everything together, but I don't want to hide too much of the wings so that you can't tell, that they're butterfly wings, although I guess it is pretty obvious. And so I'm really liking this, and I love those butterfly die cuts. I love those lacy effect that it lends. And then I went into my stash and I found these Dear Lizzie thickers, And there's some old ones I guess I got at TJ Maxx, and I liked that they were a little bit cursive, a little more formal. And I'm just kind of positioning my title in a few different places. And finally I decide to kind of put it down here on the wing and kind of tuck it up underneath my clusters and just kind of incorporate it, because it's, you know, not the most original title, you know, it's just pretty self-explanatory. So it doesn't need to be front and center. I just kind of like it tucked in amongst all the rest of the embellishments. But it wasn't too sticky. It's pretty old thickers, so I went ahead and just used my fine line bottle with some Scotch Quick Dry in it to adhere those on there. And then I also got some of the little liquid pearls, and these are Ranger in blush. And so I'm just going ahead and dotting some little tiny liquid pearls in the center of my die cut flowers, just to give them a nice little flower center. And then that is my completed layout, and I love how it turned out. I love the colors of it, that you can see the all the images on the paper. I didn't have to cover up too much of that. And you can see all the die cuts and those glittery flowers from 49 and Market. And I will put links to all the papers, flowers, die cuts, liquid pearls, all that kind of stuff down below. And if you use the code AB10 when you order from the scrapbookingwithme.com store, you'll get a 10% discount off of your purchase. And then I'll also put links to, there's a Facebook boutique and a members room and blog and all that kind of good stuff. And I will put that down below as well. So go ahead and go over and check out her store. There's also other of the 49 and Market paper collections besides just the Sense of Nature that have some different color themes, and they're all gorgeous. So definitely go and check those out. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions or anything, just leave me a comment below, and I will be back with one more design team project for the month of June. So I will be seeing you again shortly. Talk to you later. Bye.